I got the horse right here. The name is Paul Revere.
All right, we're back here for the April 15th edition of Handicappers Corner. We do have 8 live races on Sunday. A feature race is the George Royal Handicap, actually the George Royal Allowance race. That'll be our last race on the program. I'm your co-host Mike Heads, and joining me is Drew Forster. We'll go through all 8 races, try and get you some winners on Sunday. Drew, let's kick things off with the first half of the double.
First race, maiden optional 30,000 for fillies and mares going 6 furlongs. I went with the 2
5 and 10.
2 5 and 10 on the Troy Taylor barn, one that was claimed last time off Brian Corner in Santa Anita. Ran a really good race that day, I thought, even though the final line 6 by 15 broke bad, got rushed up into pretty quick fractions, and then got a little tired. First start of her life. I think she'll have a pretty good edge in here. That was a while ago, so she gets a little break in between, comes up to Hastings. I think obviously easier company.
So you got a refresher at the gate too, and a minute
Yep.
and 1/5 out of the latch, which is good because I know she did break really bad, about 5 or 6 lengths bad, and then.
And she did that one out of the gate. She did fire right out of the gate. That was really good. One out of the gate, so she looks good. In second, I have Madeira Park, promising filly of the day, Forster Barn, who look at who she got beat by last year. Claire's Misey. Who's in later on today? Yep. Sartorialist.
Ouch and Bel Galante are pretty nice fillies as well.
Exactly. So I have her in the second spot. Hamill sticks with her, last year's leading rider. And in the third spot, I've went Platinum out of the Greg Tracy barn, who has been running at Golden Gate and made allowance races there that are pretty salty races, and didn't disgrace herself in there. So I have 2 5 and 10 Madeira Park and went Platinum.
I went to 6 Madeira Park. I got your top 2. I got the same. I just inverted them. Yeah. I think Madeira Park, I'm pretty impressed with what I saw of her last year. Like a filly that will improve. She's well bred by Langfier out of the stakes winning dam, Capilano. So good pedigree here, good outfit. The works, a nice final prep and 101 and change. Hamill, leading rider last year, he's aboard, so lots of positives. The 2 horse, 2 5 and 10, gets the blinkers. That'll maybe make him break. Obviously, he broke with blinkers in his workout in a minute 1/5. So those look like the 2 horses on paper. I really think it's a big gap after the 2 and 6 after back to the balance of the field, unless they hook up in a speed duel and set somebody up. But I put the 1 Hillingdon in for third, so I went to the 6 Madeira Park. I'm going to go 6, 2, and 1 in our Sunday opener. On to the second. We do have some very cracked sprinters in here going 3.5 furlongs. Got some old timers that like Victim of Love, 10-year-old that just a professional going 3.5 furlongs. A good little betting board. 7 of them going this 3.5 furlong trip. I went to the 6 horse Battle of Hastings. Everything's going to depend on the break. It's really tough to pinpoint one horse in this race, but Battle of Hastings is pretty solid. Gets Tyler Walker in the irons. I know he's been aboard this horse a lot in the mornings. Give the 1 Terrell Me a Story a big chance. He leaves there well, and he's going to show speed, and that's what you need in these races. And I put the 4 Bosco's Quick, who is pretty quick. He set some pretty fast fractions last fall. He's been working well. I left Victim of Love off the ticket, which could be a dumb thing, but it's a competitive race. Just a race if you're playing the early pick 4. You might want to go a few deep in here. I don't have a strong opinion on this race, but I landed on Battle of Hastings.
As what happens with the 3.5 furlongs race, a lot depends on the break and post position too.
Yep.
I see why you like Battle of Hastings. He has the outside post position.
It's a lot of times better.
Absolutely. I went with Terrell Me a Story. He's got the 1 hole, which isn't necessarily a positive thing, even in a short sprint like this. But he fired right off the bench last year, win the first 3.5 race.
Winter campaign, that's a big edge.
Exactly.
Snorting fire. He's probably ready to go from the fence.
Exactly. And he's been running at Turf Paradise, so he's fit and ready to go. So I do like Terrell Me a Story in the top spot. I got Battle of Hastings in second, and third I put Victim of Love in, who you left off. You went with Bosco's Quick instead. But Victim of Love, 11 races at this distance. He's won over half of them, win 6 of them. So
pretty solid horse. I know. It's just like we both mentioned. It's all on the break, and whoever just doesn't break a heartbeat slow, or whoever just pops out of there on top and gets their nose in front and probably hang on and win it. But Drew's going to head down to the rail to Terrell Me a Story. I'm going to go to the 6 horse Battle of Hastings.
And on to the third, 3-year-olds maiden 20 going 6 furlongs. I went with the 5 Canucks Roar in here out of the Charlene Miller barn. Gets Richard Hamill, leading rider. Nice little work, 49.4 last time. In second, I have out of the Van Overshot barn, Royal Victor. This horse is definitely the most seasoned horse in the race. Even ran in a couple stakes last year. Comes in, looks to me, the seasoning, been running a tougher company. I like that. And in third, I have William Levanaway's Latent Storm, first-time starter.
Yeah, tough betting race. Not a lot of fun. Anytime you have
Exactly,
no
not a lot to look at.
Go on. You got horses that have a lot of firsters in here, horses that have just made a couple of starts. So it's a difficult handicapping assignment. Maybe snuggle up to the paddock, listen to Matt Jukic, and see if he can give you some more insight on any of the horses, their appearance in the paddock.
How they look, exactly.
And, see how they look, because a lot will depend on how they do look in the paddock. There's really not a lot to go on form. And I'm going to try the 6-horse Royal Victor, as you mentioned, running in some stakes races last year. That was good enough for me. Look, first time out, ran third to Gabby Got Her Way and With Count, so both stakes winners. So that was enough for me to take him on top. Works are good. Van Overshot can get horses ready to win early, so I'm going to take the 6 Royal Victor. I agree with the 3 Latent Storm. Give this horse a shot. Take a look at him in the paddock, as well as the 5 Canucks Roar, who was a dull roar last night as we were too buzzed in the series. But Royal Victor, I'm going to go 6, 3, and 5 in this afternoon's third.
I got 5, 6, 3. Just interchange them a little bit.
In the 4th race, moving along, once again started the pick 5. We do have maiden $5,000 fillies and mares going 6 furlongs. Once again, not a lot of horn to go on here. Got a lot of lightly raced runners, other than the 2 Moonlighter, who's had quite a few chances and hit the board a few times, though. I went to the 7 Final Curtain Call. Had an excuse in her debut last year. Was wide throughout. Looks like they just wanted to get a start into her. September 24th, which is 1 week before the season ended. Might not have. It's obviously there was some hiccups along the way in the training program to cause her to not run until September the 24th. Her work tab's good this spring. She's not ambitiously placed. She's in for $5,000.
Yeah.
Good connections here. She was reasonably well back, 12-1. She wasn't like a 50-1 hopeless shot when she did run. But that was enough for me. I mean, just looking up and down, it's really hard to make a case for a few of these, but I did go to Final Curtain Call. I put the 4 Remarkable Mutter in for second. She goes first-time Lasix in her 212 debut. And I put the 6, Lots of Cash, a debuting 4-year-old daughter of Quiet Cash. She's got a great final prep in 47 and 4.
That's who I went with, was Lots of Cash, because of that last work. And for $5,000, a work like that, first-time starter, I just like the look of that horse. I have Fuchsia, the Dino Condolino Sparta, Rock Hard 10.
There's some nice stallions in here.
Yeah, there sure is. There's a Wilco, a Malibu Moon, of course, Moonlighter, the 2.
Nice. I know, don't tell their dads that.
Yeah.
They would be too proud of them running for Maiden 5.
You got that right. I went with Fuchsia. Marty Williams on, gets a lot of weight off. And in third spot, I have Final Curtain Call out of Mark Cluche's horse. Yeah. Interesting, Mark has 2 in here. Ishmael rode them both. Ishmael Mosquera rode both of them last year. He elects to go with the 7, so that might be another tip towards the 7 horse.
I know Mark likes to use Ishmael and some other riders because they do work for him in the morning. So just because you see Ishmael Mosquera, a somewhat lesser rider, winning rider in the standings, this guy can horseback. He's a good little rider.
He sure is.
Mark uses him, so don't be afraid to bet on this horse. Yeah. I went with the 7 Final Curtain Call, and Drew went with the 6. Lots of Cash.
5 and 7, which brings us on to the 5th race.
Number 5. 6 furlongs will be the distance. 3,000 claimers.
Non-winners of the year for older boys.
Yep. Field of 8. It's got superfecta wagering on this one too. Looks like there's a lot of speed. The one horse that I stumbled on in this race, Drew, is the 6-horse Red Royale.
Yeah.
I have no idea what to do with this horse. This horse ran once last year. Tin canned him in a maiden optional. It wasn't even, this horse, it hasn't been seen since April 23rd of last year, so almost a whole year off.
I know, he doesn't really fit in this category almost, because there is horses that have won a lot more races in here. Like you look at Deputy All-Star, who's won 11. He's only won the 1 race, but I think he is the class of the race.
Yeah, I agree. I just see a lot of speed in here, though. I'm not going to go to Bred Royal. I will pick him in the top 3. I just see Deputy All-Star wanting to make a dash for the lead. I see Bred Royale and even the outside 2 horses, Alibi on Fire and Can't Wait Forever, both wanting it. I see it being congested and up front and no one getting easy fractions. I think the Steve Henson runner, number 5, Story's End, will take a nice tracking trip, draft in behind the speed. Richard Hamill, notorious for sneaking through on the fence, and I think things may go well for Story's End today. I don't think he's the best horse in the race, but I think today he may win the money just because of the way the race is going to set up. So I went with the 5, Story's End. I put Deputy All-Star, who's been sharp. I know he wins a lot of his races at Portland, but still, he's a pretty nice horse. He's won races here. And I put Bred Royale in for 3rd. I went 5, 4, and 6.
I'm pretty much just interchangeable. I think Bred Royale is just too much class for this race. That's a big drop. Alan May, Hall of Fame trainer, knows how to get him ready. I think he's too much. Deputy All-Star, like you say, he's won 11 races. This is his kind of dash. I have him in 2nd. He gets Pedro. And I put Story's End in 3rd.
Yeah, we got the same top 3, but just inverted them a little. He went to Bred Royale. So there you have it. There's our picks. Stories End for me and Bread Royal for Drew in the 5th. Moving on to the 6th race, we do have maiden 20 grand fillies in here. Just three-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs. Once again, it's like the 3rd race on the card where we have not a lot of form to go on.
Exactly.
Got some interesting maidens. I went with the 4 Ancidi, kind of perhaps a little bit of a lazy pick just because the horse has been running, use that same angle, fit, ready to go, top outfit, top rider. You're getting a lot of pluses with Ancidi.
Yeah.
The only negative will probably be the price will be somewhere around the even money mark.
You'd think so, yeah.
I went Ancidi to win it. I put the 5 Waif out of the Dino Condolenio spot, goes in blinkers. Good work, Tab. This horse did run against some pretty nice horses last year. Obviously, Dino thought enough of her to run her in some stakes races and some maiden specials. So give Waif a shot with Frank Fuentes. I put the 7 Weekend in Vegas. Had a few of those throughout my career, so we'll be pulling for this one. I went 4, 5, and 7 in the 6th.
Absolutely. I'm pretty much agree with you, Mike. We must have been handicapping together here.
Pretty good.
I think Ancidi's coming out of Santa Anita, again, to a maiden 20 here.
Yeah,
looks pretty salty.
Maiden 30 against Maiden 20 has to stack up pretty good, especially when you're going the other way. Maiden 30 at Santa Anita, Maiden 20.
To Maiden 20 here.
Yeah, they're aggressive. The outfit always runs horses at you. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one win very easily.
And I have Waif in 2nd. 3rd, though, I went with Classy Edge, who did get a start last year. Had some speed early on, just faded a little bit at the end. First start of its life, yeah.
A lot of the foals out of Racing Edge are pretty nice. And Regal Request was one, and they're pretty solid little horses, the foals out of Racing Edge.
Yeah, I don't think it's too much. Might be a lot to ask to try and beat Ancidi, but I've earned for 3rd.
Alrighty. Let's move along to the 7th.
7th race, straight allowance for 3-year-old fillies. And here again we see Claire's Mizey, one of the most impressive horses we saw all last year at Hastings. That win by 8 in the Lassie was super impressive.
45 flat for a baby that time of year was just amazing. Pretty advanced horse that ended up going to Edmonton and then on to New Jersey.
And a big, good-looking filly, too.
Yeah, no, just a real star.
Yeah, look, took her to New Jersey. They thought that much of her, and something might have happened there. She hasn't ran since, but she's back, and if she's anything like she was last year, I'd say she's a handful in here.
Yeah, you can probably keep it. You can probably keep an eye on the Greg Tracy runners, not only because he's a top trainer from Alberta,
very good trainer,
but they've been campaigning in Golden Gate. They've had a long go since January, and this is another horse that's been just campaigning down at Golden Gate. Didn't run down there, but got a lot of. It's great to have like your spring training down at a place where the weather is never an issue. You always have the same kind of track.
Got a good track every
6
day.
or 7 days.
Exactly.
Get horses ready for prime efforts that way. And Claire's Mizey's been down at Golden Gate, as have most of Craig's horses. So look for them to be spot on early in the meet.
Absolutely. With another one that's coming out of Golden Gate, out of the Troy Taylor barn, is Two Feathers. She's been fading a little bit lately, but I think back home where she was outworking most of his, he had a great year with 2-year-olds last year, and they thought this one was the best. So I look for her to run a big race back kind of on her home track. She did break her maiden at Santa Anita earlier, or last December. And the 3rd one that was claimed off the Troy Taylor barn last year, El Ciervo, was a super impressive first-time winner. Hasn't ran back since then. Patty Leaney's got her horses going really good. They've all been, I believe they were training somewhere else
because
before
they've been
they
6
came
furlongs and back down to a half or 5/8 before the race.
They're fit and ready to go.
Been going pretty. Look for her horses to be.
Yeah, that was a big question mark too, right? Like that horse could definitely surprise in there. I think it's a pretty nice filly.
Well, I agree with you with Claire's Mizey. I think this is another pretty easy pick. I think this horse, if she runs her to anywhere near her ability, she's going to win for fun.
Yeah.
The horse I put in for 2nd, though, is the horse you just mentioned, Patty Leaney's the 4 El Ciervo. I just think the 1, 2, and 3 may be compromised by Claire's Mizey being in the race, and they may try and chase Claire's Mizey, and that might set things up for a closer. And El Ciervo might be able to pick up the pieces and get into the place spot. Hey, maybe even be able to win it. But she has been working well. You don't usually see horses make big moves from off the pace going 3.5 furlongs, but this one did look good. Winning going 3.5, and I think she could be set up for a good effort going around 2 turns. So I went 5, 4. And I put the 1-horse Thimble in for 3rd. She was very impressive last fall, and she also looks like she's been carrying on. She's been going very nicely for Dino in the mornings this spring as well.
Yeah, broke her maiden over with Council, which is very interesting edge there.
Okay, to close it out, hey, the George Raw, nice race to try and...
Great get-even race.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're in front, but the full field of 10 scheduled to go postward in the George Royal. Only 6 furlongs, so makes it a little trickier. Good classy field. The one thing I did notice in this race, there is not really a confirmed speed horse, and I think there's classy horses in here like Almost Time, Senior Rojo, Jump Up and Kiss Me, City Trooper, and Quentin's Destiny. I have mentioned 5 horses, but they all don't have
They all want
speed.
something to run at, yeah.
They all kind of depend on the pace being quite quick and rallying against tiring runners. So I'm going to go to 3 horses that are going to be near the lead, and I went to the 3 Winning Machine, the 6 Crew Leader, and the 7 Don't Wait for Me. I think those are your 3 horses in here. I put Crew Leader on top. Really impressed with a 6.5 furlong run in 1:15 and change last year. He did it very easily. He's a horse that I think will draft in behind the speed, or if it's slow enough, he may be able to get to the top. Absolutely. He's a nice improving horse, and you know, things went downhill after the Long Acres Mile, but prior to that, like, he was awesome. He was a top. He was as nice a horse as anyone.
He sure was.
Anyone that can push St. Liam's Halo, he's a nice colt.
Yeah,
like, Crew Leader's the real deal, and I think he'll be even better. He improves drastically from 3 to 4, and I think he'll even
he's gotten better every year
as a 5-year-old. So I like Crew Leader to defeat Winning Machine, who hasn't run a bad race here at Hastings. He won the Derby, and he was second in the Premiers. How can you fault Winning Machine? And he's a horse that has speed. Leslie Mawing in to ride for Frank Lucarelli. And I put the 7 Don't Wait for Me in there. He had some issues last year. That's why he went to the sidelines. Looks like he's sound, good to go, and been training up a storm for Rob Van Overshot. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this one in the winner's circle either. It was 6-3-7 for me.
I'm right around you too. The only one I interchanged them. I took Winning Machine on top.
That horse can win for sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who gets the lead to me.
Yeah, exactly. I like Winning Machine. I think he's coming in fit, ready to go. Crew Leader, I have in second spot. Again, I don't think there's a whole lot differentiating, probably the top 3-4 horses in here.
Lucky with a trip.
I did like Don't Wait for Me too, but instead I went with Senior Rojo in the 3rd spot.
Cool
he loves the rail. Yeah, he's down in the 1 hole. Traffic could be an issue for him, but Hamill knows this horse well. He's had a lot of success on him, made a lot of money with him, so I put him in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, I can see him sneaking up the rail, and if something materializes on the pace, because he's a horse that just, he never runs any farther than about an inch off the rail all the time.
He does love the rail.
He loves this track, Senior Rojo, and he actually traveled well too. He won over in Edmonton as well.
Speed Despair last year.
But a horse that probably not at his best going 6 furlongs, but under the right trip and right conditions, might be able to get a...
Ran second in this race last year, but however, that was 6.5 last year.
Well, it's a good race, nonetheless. Excellent betting race. There are plenty of options for you. We didn't even talk about Almost Time.
Exactly.
He's been a champion sprinter before. I got really quality field. Quentin's Destiny coming in for Peter Redikoff. This is a good field.
City Trooper coming in from New York.
Yeah, no, there's some pretty nice. We're pretty blessed to have quite a few pretty nice horses. Actually, this race, as you can see, overfilled. I think there was 20 nominations. And it drew a pile of horses, and only 12 can fit it. Only have 2 also eligibles, but shows we got a pretty deep older horse division. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of our Sunday, April 15th program. Up next will be the slate of our selections for Sunday. We'll quickly recap them. We'll start with my selections. In the first race, I went to the 6 Madeira Park. The second race, number 6 Battle of Hastings. I went for another 6. In the third race, Royal Victor. In the fourth race, I went to the 7-horse Final Curtain Call. In the fifth race, number 5 Story's End. In the sixth race, number 4 NCD. And in the seventh, the feature, number 5 Claire's Measy, or co-feature, sorry. And in the 8th race, the George Royal, I went to number 6. Hopefully the 6s are doing well. That's Crew Leader.
And as for my picks, we differ a little bit more today than we did for Saturday's card. In the first, I went with number 2, 2, 5, and 10. In the second, I went with number 1, Tell Me a Story. The third, number 5, Canucks Roar. In the fourth race, number 6, Lots of Cash. In the fifth race, number 6, Bread Royale. In the sixth race, number 4, Ann CD. In the seventh race, I agree with you, Mike, number 5, Claire's Measy. And in the 8th, number 3, Winning Machine.
All right, that concludes our Sunday edition of Handicappers Corner. We remind everyone, for more information, please check out Matt and Dan Jukic. They can be seen every weekend at Hastings at 12:45, about an hour before post. They go on air, give you a little more insight into both the Saturday and Sunday programs. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We look forward to seeing everyone next Saturday. We will be on the air once again next Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. So we look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you for joining us, and good luck, everyone.
The name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do, This guy says the horse can do. If he says the horse can do, can do.